The bureau industry, I would say, we're really looking at those entities which provide services that allow credit data to go to lenders in order to allow those lenders to make responsible lending decisions. So that's what I mean when I talk about the credit bureau industry or the credit reference agency industry. And I wanted to give you some insights today around how legitimate interests works in our world, how we've put in some processes and thoughts around how to create this balance and maintain this balance, and what we do to promote consumer rights in this world. And then hopefully see, does that help you guys to look at, can we translate and give some benefit to other industries if you are looking at legitimate interests?
So what does a credit reference agency do? There's some statements up there, but I just want to illustrate it by way of example. Essentially, we get hold of lots of data from lots of sources, we do some clever stuff with it, and then we make it available to people for specific purposes. I'm going to talk about the UK model. It is replicated in some countries around Europe, but it is quite different in some territories. But we'll largely be focusing on the UK model. Where we're not, we'll make that very clear. So in the UK, if I take out a new credit card, a search will be made of my credit file as part of the application. Come on to that in a moment. And then, as I start to use that credit card, the credit card company will report on a monthly basis to Experian and to the two other bureaus in the UK my performance in meeting my credit obligations. So have I paid the minimum balance on a credit card or not? And that will be the same in the UK for a wide range of credit products, with credit having a pretty wide definition. So obviously things like mortgages, personal loans, credit cards, store cards, current accounts with overdrafts, motor finance, but also mobile telephone accounts, some utility bills. And what a credit reference agency does is it collects all that data together and it matches it to individuals, which in the UK is an art as much as a science. We don't have a single unique identifier in the UK that can be relied on. So the credit reference agency will collect all that data together in one place, and it will then make it available under controlled circumstances to people who, when they are going to lend or advance credit to people, want to know something about them, which people have wanted to do ever since anybody ever lent anybody any money. What are my chances of being repaid? What are the chances of this person not actually meeting their obligations? So what's really important about a credit reference agency, two things. First of all, it's a recorder of factual information. We don't make decisions about people. We provide the information to allow others to make decisions. We may process data, we do scores and so forth. But we don't say whether someone is to be accepted or not, whether they're good or bad. We don't operate what people referred to as blacklists in the past. That doesn't happen. Second thing is, we have to be trusted. Because if the person making the lending decision doesn't trust the provenance of our data, then they won't use it. We couldn't survive if we were not trusted. So that independence, that objective view, and being trusted are all absolutely essential. In the UK, life's changed for us over the last 4 or 5 years. So for many years, we've had a close relationship with the ICO. The ICO asked us to make some changes to what we did probably 10, 15 years ago, and the industry responded. But we have a very good relationship with the ICO, but we've kind of not stuck our head above the parapet. We don't try and hide away, but we're quite happy just doing what we do and nobody's paying an enormous amount of attention to us. We are now subject to the authority of the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, so the financial services regulator. And we are increasingly being asked by government to help them achieve policy objectives. So two very brief examples. People may be aware that the UK's had a big problem with payday lending, a lot of political attention attached to that in the last few years. We were essentially sort of marched up to Canary Wharf to see the FCA before we were authorised and told, if you don't build real-time data solutions to enable us to identify people who are just walking down high streets taking out several loans in a matter of hours, then we'll bring in someone, we'll make you do it, or bring someone else to do it. So we responded to that. There's some legislation just going through, being finalised at the moment, which will force the major retail banks to share further information on their small and medium business customers with credit reference agencies, because it's seen as a way of promoting competition and the flow of finance to small businesses. There's a feeling that big banks with the current accounts have got a hold on that market. another big political thing. So we are being given data that we didn't actually ever ask for because we're seen very much as essential to the financial system.